today as the aunt of a proud trans man.
Mother, aunt,
My best friend's kid is trans.
best friend,
And
kids,
my kid's best friend is trans.
best kid.
My wife and I, our lives are filled with the most amazing, beautiful, brave trans people, young and old, but especially young.
I have a trans daughter.
Now my child has changed gender. Does that mean that previous child is now gone? Then once they came through the door, I went, oh yeah, it's my kid. It's the exact same kid.
There are threats against her life. Just her existence as a human being. There are people that want to annihilate her and people like her. The level of hatred, as if we haven't learned from fascism, like we haven't learned what the result of that is.
It's his life and it's his body and he knows what's right for him. And I shouldn't be, trying to delay him or stop him. I should follow his lead. And that's what I did. And that's what we've been doing ever since. And I have to say, it's worked out really wonderfully.
I would hope that people would find someone in their lives who's a trans person, and there might be someone that they don't know who works at the grocery store or their doctor or their teacher or I don't know, it's just their post office worker, someone in their lives who is just like they are. They happen to be trans. And if you're even luckier, you have someone in your family. Because then you really do understand that we don't have to judge. We have to love and understand.
Jamie Lee Curtis has a voice, and she's trying to use it, and you should too. And that's how we change.
Oh my God. I don't know if you all see what I see. I think you do. There is just something not right with this. Look, I don't care if you have a trans kid or a gay kid or whatever, but whatever you have, whatever your kid is, right? But there just seems to be this huge amount of celebrities with trans kids. And some of the stuff they say just feels like it's an agenda. Like Hollywood is in on it. Like they're pushing this idea that having a trans kid is the coolest thing in the world. Why would you do that? Because this isn't cool and it isn't awesome. And if you are, yeah, you are. And then we'll figure out how to deal with it. Most normal trans people, transsexual people, don't want you to know they're trans. Do you not understand this, people? They don't want you to know. So yeah, you might be going to the grocery store and you might be seeing the cashier at the grocery store or the person working. They might be trans, but why do you need to know that? Why do you even need to know that? Why can't you just know them as Tommy or Susie or Sally or whatever? Why do you need to know that they're trans? It's like saying you need to know they're gay. You don't need to know any of that. You actually just need to know that they're a person. So this is why I wanted to do this video today, because I have noticed more and more. It seems like every day a new celebrity comes out with a trans or non-binary queer kid. So before I move forward, thanks so much for liking, subscribing, helping this channel grow, like supporting it as I get, kind of a little bit, something's going on here, but I'm tired of talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to keep going and getting this out there to all of you. So thank you for helping me. So I posted this question yesterday or the day before on X, okay? And question, when coming out as gay was new and accepted, were there a lot of celebrities talking about their gay child? And when I mean child, I mean kid. I don't mean they need to be under 18 because they're still your kid, even if they're 50, right? So I don't necessarily mean that they're like underage. I mean, because, most kids don't come out as gay until they're like 17, 18, 20, whatever, not 5. So this is a real question because I do not remember many. I don't. But now when they have a trans kid, it seems to be a big deal. And then thanks for the comment, right? And so it's really an important question, I think, because I don't remember celebrities saying, "Ooh, I have a gay kid," the way they're saying, "Woohoo, I have a trans kid." And I don't think people are really understanding how this really says to me that there is an agenda attached to being trans, and that there's this whole idea that having a trans kid is cool, where I don't think people were as accepting back in the day of having a gay kid, and they didn't talk about having a gay kid. And as I was doing this research, I started seeing like they're lumping gay kids in with trans now. It is actually absurd and gross and wrong. So just so you know out there, they are not separating gay from trans. Now, if you have a gay kid, somehow that becomes a queer kid, and somehow that becomes into the trans umbrella. This is dangerous behavior because they aren't the same thing. So I found this video where it talks about 25 is a lot of celebrities, and it's more now. There's more than 25. There's so many of them. It's crazy. Robert De Niro just came out. I think her name is Tia Carrera. She's one of the stars of the Lilo Stillo, whatever it's called, movie that just came out. I don't know. It's some kid movie, but you know what I mean. Her kid just came out as trans, and it like every day a new celebrity comes out with a trans kid. So I found this video, and then I'm going to show you right here how they name 25 stars. In some of these, like I think Marie Osmond and Barbara Streisand, those aren't trans kids. They have gay kids, not trans kids. So why are they lumping them in with the trans label? It's actually really upsetting to me. So I'm gonna show you this real quick. I'm gonna cut it. I'm just gonna show you the 25 here.
Here are 25 Hollywood stars with transgender children. 1. Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony. 2. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. 3rd Cher. 4. Jamie Lee Curtis. 5. Mark Ruffalo and Sunrise Coyne. 6. Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. 7. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. 8. Dennis Quaid. 9. Charlize Theron. Gishanti Marlon Wayans. 11th. Cynthia Nixon. 12th. Colin Mockery. 13. Belinda Carlisle. 15. 16. David Tennant. 17. Annette O'Toole. 18. Warren Beatty and Annette Bening. 19. The Quiet Strength of Sade. 20. Rebecca Robertson. 21st. Alexis Bellino. 22nd. Kate Bornstein. Cecilia Ponce. Marcia Gay Harden. Kvinderdeogti Vendikarina.
So that was another one I just remembered right now was Angelina Jolie. Her kid is not trans. It was like just one of those tomboyish girls. I don't think that kid was ever trans nor called themselves trans in my opinion and from what I can remember. But there they are, right? All of a sudden that kid is trans. And that kid is now a girl who's totally happy to be a girl. So I think there is something going on in Hollywood that's very upsetting to me. And then we have that wingnut Jamie Lee Curtis, who's so angry that her daughter is being attacked and fascism is coming out the trans community. The wingnutty stuff that lady says is so crazy. She's like so angry and like, I'm going to protect trans people. Really? Well, where were you 25 years ago when we were fighting for this? Now that your daughter is trans, you're going to gnaw off everybody's leg who isn't cool with your daughter, who, by the way, had a cosplay wedding. That's a whole other video I should do. When I was researching this, I couldn't even believe it. That Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter got married to a girl, but I can't tell if it's a trans woman. And then next thing you know, they had a literal cosplay wedding where they were in costumes. They were in actually like anime costumes having a wedding. Oh my God, I just can't. I just can't. These people have lost their minds. So hold on, I have this other great video I wanted to bring up here. We all know this Cynthia Nixon. She tends to be the most outspoken with Jamie Lee Curtis. They're like the two most outspoken members of this celebrity status who just like obsessed with their trans kids. But I want you to hear this. This is actually really crazy. Listen to this.
Mother of a proud trans man. I am here today as the aunt of a proud trans man.
Mother, aunt.
My best friend's kid is trans.
Best friend kid's trans.
Kid's best friend is trans.
Best kid.
My wife and I, our lives are filled with the most amazing, beautiful, brave, trans people, young and old, but especially young.
Okay, enough. But especially young. Her kid, she's a niece to, then her friend of a friend has a trans kid, then that kid has a trans kid, but mostly we're surrounded by trans kids, and they're lesbians. You can't write this stuff. It's actually scary. It is so scary. The list goes on. I'm highlighting those two because they're the most wingnutty, but literally 25 that I showed you there, 25 supposedly celebrities that have trans kids, and it keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, and it's shocking and scary. So here's the thing that I want to bring up. Look, first off, I don't care if you have a trans kid. Good for you. Whatever you need to do with yourself. But why are you putting it out in the world like that? That's the part why I'm doing this video, because I find it disturbing. I find it sort of an ideological space, to be honest with you. Why are you lumping in gay kids with trans kids? Okay, because some of these celebrities that you're posting about, they don't have trans kids. They have gay kids. Okay, Anne Rice has a gay kid. Barbara Streisand has a gay kid. There's a couple others in there. Marie Osmond has a gay kid. And now you're calling them queer and trans when that's just not true. So this last video I want to bring up here is Andrew Gold, who I love. I've been on his show. He's awesome. He did an interview with, I think his name is Malcolm Clark, who is a filmmaker and also pushes back against the ideological space of trans. This guy makes amazing points right here. So let me bring this up.
Celebrity actors in particular, the problem is that they spend their entire lives reading other people's scripts. That's why they suddenly come up with, some cause, whether it's the environment or gay rights. It's look at us, we're better than you. Most of them are as dumb as can be.
It really is quite a low percentage of people who are trans. I mean, it's really small, but in the celebrity world, it's extraordinary. Charlize Theron's kids, Cher's kids, Cynthia Nixon, Sting. There was a huge...
Jamie Lee Curtis is a fool. She's one of these celebrities who stands up and says, my children are at risk. They're going to be killed. That's why I feel I now have to showcase myself. I mean, there's never been a social justice movement in history that said, if you don't give our rights, we're going to jump into the river and kill ourselves. Hey, that's a really pathetic argument. Amputated breasts in a plastic bag with fake blood. To have a really popular, multi-award-winning show like Drag Race push that on mainstream TV is just appalling. It's almost tailor-made to be making the argument that homophobes used to make, which is that there's an agenda here.
It's really, this guy makes all the points right there. Drag Race, it's a great show. I think it was, I don't watch it. I have a lot of drag queen friends who are adults, do the adult space. But some of the stuff that's been happening, it is a little bit intense, and I'm not sure. And so I remember back in the day when RuPaul, it was all about drag queens. It wasn't about trans. I think that it literally changed into being trans because it's the cool thing. And a lot of those drag queens are now trans, which how are you a drag queen if you're trans? That's a whole other video I should do, actually. Drag queens that are trans. Then you're not a drag queen. I'm not in drag. It's actually insulting. I don't walk around in drag, whether or not you want to believe it or not. I don't feel like this way. This does not come off. Okay? It's actually who and what I am. When you're a drag queen, you're a man becoming a woman or a woman becoming a man through makeup and artistry. And it's an illusion. That's why they called it female impersonator or illusion, right? It's an illusion. But if you're transitioning, it's no longer an illusion. So these kind of platforms are really platforming this idea. And I think what he was talking about, there was this one trans person who was in drag and because it's a female to male, and then he put on drag to become back to female, and then he had a costume where he had chop surgery and he had these knives and it was cutting his breasts off and he had scars. And I'm like, whoa, that is actually intense. And people got pissed about it because it's promoting top surgery. And oh man, it's just, I don't know what's going on with the Hollywood. I don't know why so many of these people feel the need to out their children. And are their children going to get mad in the long run? Are most of these kids going to grow out of being trans? Remember, they're showing it as an identity. And why are you so obsessed with showing your trans kid? Why? I really want to know. And so before I go, I want to tell you that some of the comments on my ex when I posted that were really interesting comments. And you're more than welcome to comment here about it, what you feel about it as well, because I think it's an important I do think it's important to talk about that. So some of the comments I got were basically, no, I don't remember it. I don't recall that. And then people were saying, the statistics tell me that the number of trans children that are born to celebrities seems to be extraordinarily high than what the averages would suggest. Right? And now they're saying like 1.5 million people identify as trans in the United States. And I'm going to keep saying it. This is not an identity choice. These kids are identifying as trans. They want to be trans. And that was the real big problem when they took it out of being a disorder and made it into an identity. And now it's become a thing that is cool and hip. And I have a trans kid, and every week a new celebrity comes out with their new trans kid. And it's disturbing on many levels for me. So I would love to hear your comments about it. I'd love to hear what you think about it. The more we discuss these things, I think the more we start to come back to some reality-based space. And you watch, in 5 years, they won't have trans kids anymore. They'll have some other kind of kid, okay? So keep your private stuff to yourself, man. We don't need to know about you transitioning your children. And a lot of these kids are adults. And again, I'm totally okay with adults doing what they need to do. What I think is weird is that they're celebrating this as if it's like this cool thing to have a trans kid. And why aren't they ever doing that with their gay kids? Okay. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for liking, subscribing. I appreciate you all supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Don't forget, lives on Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Okay. Have a great rest of your day.